guys, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Ready Player One, so of course I wanted to check out the book ahead of the film's release. But when I tried to read it, I found it really hard to get through. The character kept mentioning all these things like Monty Python and Star Trek and Matthew Broderick, and I'm not a man in his mid to late 30s, so all these super obscure 80s references were just completely going over my head. Because of that, I didn't really enjoy the book. And that's gotta be the only reason. Fortunately, I went to the store today and I saw that they had Ready Player One's girl translation in stock. Finally, nerd references that even I can understand. So I figured that together we could read a few passages. When it came to my research, I never took any shortcuts. Over the past 5 years, I'd worked my way down the entire recommended Gunter reading list. Louisa May Alcott, Marguerite Henry, Gail Carson Levine, Stephenie Meyer, Bonnie Bryant. I read every novel by every single one of Halliday's favorite authors. And I didn't stop there. If it was one of Halliday's favorites, like 16 Candles, Teen Witch, or Black Beauty, I rewatched it until I knew every scene by heart. I devoured what Halliday referred to as the Holy Trilogies. Bridget Jones, Legally Blonde, High School Musical, and Cinderella and its 2 direct-to-DVD sequels. I spent 3 months studying every Gary Marshall movie and memorizing all the key lines of dialogue. You could say I covered all the bases. I watched every episode of Punky Brewster, Moon Dreamers, Lady Lovelylocks, The Care Bears, Princess Starla and the Jewel Riders, Star Trek, but just the episode with the Tribbles because they're cute. Rainbow Bright, The Wuzzles. What about Maxie's World, you ask? I knew more about Surfside than I knew about my own city. Japan? Did I cover Japan? Yes. Yes, indeed. I watched both of their only shows, Sailor Moon and Hamtaro. My Little Pony? Oh, I did my homework. My Little Pony and Friends, My Little Pony Tales, even Friendship is Magic. I watched them all in chronological order. The movies, too. I wasn't some dilettante. I wasn't screwing around. I wasn't going to have anyone questioning my commitment, especially when it came to video games. Video games were my area of expertise, my double weapon specialization. I downloaded every game mentioned or referenced in the almanac. Minesweeper, Barbie Vacation Adventure, Neopets, Crystal's Ponytail. I played each title until I had mastered it. Then I moved on to the next one. That's so cool! I recognized all of those things. So I loved reading that. Reading lists of things I recognize is pretty fun, but let's find a passage with a little more action. Oh, okay, here's a scene where our main character goes to a virtual reality nightclub. I made a big entrance when I arrived on Swiftwind, She-Ra's rainbow-winged unicorn, which I'd obtained by completing a quest on the planet Mattel. Swiftwind came outfitted with a hot pink saddle, but I'd made several additions. In his saddle, I had installed a HitClips boombox, blasting out all the best hits from the early 2000s in 40-second increments. Then I had outfitted his decorative golden collar with Synergy, the computer from Jem and the Holograms, who could change my appearance should I need to go on any wacky adventures. Finally, to complete my 80s Super Horse theme, I'd slapped a Lisa Frank sticker on each side of his rump and made him a beaded friendship bracelet that read, "Truly Outrageous." As I stepped into the club, the opening DJ, Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, used his various crab legs and both claws to work the turntables. I recognized the tune he was playing, a remix of Girls Just Want to Have Fun with a fresh calypso beat. As I made my way to the nearest bar, the avatars I passed all stopped to stare and point in my direction because I was so cool and famous. When I reached the bar, I ordered a gummy berry juice from the female Cabbage Patch Kid bartender and downed half of it. Then I grinned as Sebastian queued up another classic 80s tune. Girls of Rock and Roll, I recited, mostly out of habit. The Chipettes, 1987. I felt cool just reading that. Overall, I really liked the girl translation of this book. It was really easy for me to understand, although the battles at the end were a little bittersweet. I don't think I ever expected or wanted to see Strawberry Shortcake just savagely stomping all over the cast of the Glowworms. I mean, it was an absolute slaughter. The best thing about the girl translation is it does retain all the same core messages as the original novel. That the only way to find real fulfillment is in the real world, but only after you have friends and a girlfriend who loves you and more money than you could ever spend in your lifetime.